This question says approximate 0.007349 to 3 significant figures. A 0.08, B 0.007, C 0.00734, D 0.00735, E 0.734. What do you think is the answer? Let's find out and see. Now, what is significant figure? The first significant figure is the first number that is not equal to 0. Look at it. This number is 0.007349. Now look at it. This is 0, this is 0, this is 0. The first significant figure is the first number that is not equal to what? 0. So in that case, the first significant figure is what? 7. This is the first significant figure. Now we've gotten the first significant figure. The second significant figure is any number after the first significant figure, whether 0 or not. Now if this were 0.007034, this is the first significant figure. This would have been the second significant figure, whether 0 or not. So it's just the first significant figure that is important, that is number that is not equal to 0. Now, the third significant figure is the number after the second significant figure. The fourth significant figure is any value, whether 0 or not, after the third significant figure. So now, in this question, this is the first significant figure, that number that is non-zero. The second significant figure is 3. Second. The third significant figure is what? This is 4, is the third. Now, if we are approximating this number to third significant figure, we are supposed to stop here. But before you keep your answer, look at the next number after the third significant figure. Is it bigger than 5? If the number is bigger than 5, you approximate. So this is 9. 9 is bigger than 5. So you take 1 from the 9 and take here. Here becomes 5. If here were 4, because this other number is bigger than 5, you add 1 to this to be it will be 1 higher. If here were to be 7 and this is 9, since it's bigger than 5, you add 1 to the 7 to become 8. So now this is 4 and this is bigger than 5, it's 9. So we approximate this one to get 0.0073. Instead of 4, it becomes 5. So this is that value approximated to 3 significant figure. So that should give you 0.00735. So option D is the correct option. This question says, calculate the height of the trapezium below, given that BC is equals 10 cm, AD is 16 cm, and its area is 104 cm square. Option A 4 cm, B 6 cm, C 8 cm, D 10 cm, and E 14 cm. Now, this is the trapezium. So we are told that A to D, the distance between A to D is 16 cm. So AD, this is 16 cm. So this is B, this is C. So they say that BC, that means from here to here is what? 10 cm. And from here to here is supposed to be the height, right? So this is height, H, is not given. And we are taught to look for height of the trapezium given area. So they gave us the area. Area A is equals 104 cm square. Now for trapezium, this is the formula for calculating trapezium area, especially. Area of a trapezium is equals 1/2 sum of parallel sides. Let's say A plus B times H. Now A is simply here, from here to here. This is BC. While B is A to D times the height. So anytime you are giving a trapezium, this place they may put different values, L to M, J to K, any value. We don't care about the values. What we care is that we have this first parallel side. So 10 will be your A. Then the bottom from here to here will be your B. So you add them times H. Here to here is the height, and this is the area. That's how you solve trapezium. Now, substituting, they gave us area. So area is 104 is equals 1/2 bracket sum of the parallel sides. So the first sum, BC, is 10 cm. So you could be giving another trapezium. Here can be 5 for any value, but the distance they will give you here, you put it here first to give you 10, plus B is the distance of the bottom from here to here. So any value they give you here is B. So AD is what will be. So this will give you 60 times H. In this question, we are not giving H or the height. So we are asked to look for height, and we are giving every other stuff. So this means we can look for the height. 104 is simply 1/2 times 10 plus 16 will give you 26 H. This will give you 104 is equals 26/2 H, right? So this will give you 104 is equals that should give you 13, I guess. 13 H. So H is equals, divide both sides by 13, you have 104/13 cm. 104 divided by 13 is simply 8 cm. So the sum of angles on a straight line is, the answer is simply 180 degrees. You may be wondering how. For example, in bearing or cardinal points, once you have something like this, we know that from here to here is 90 degrees, right? From here to here is 90 degrees. From here to here is 90 degrees. From here to here is what? 90 degrees. This implies that everything here will form what? A circle. 90 plus 90 is 180. Plus 90 is 270 degrees. Plus 90 is 360 degrees. So this implies that angle on a circle is 360 degrees. So the angle in a circle is 360 degrees. Now take a look at this. This is a straight line, right? And this is a straight line. So what is angle in a straight line? Angle in a straight line is simply from here to here is a straight line, right? So this angle in this straight line is simply this angle plus this angle, which is 90 plus 90. 90 plus 90 will give you what? 180 degrees. Okay, now look at this straight line. Let's take this straight line like this. If you are taking this straight line, that means from here to here is straight. So the angle in the total straight line will simply be this angle plus this angle, right? So that is the angle in this straight line. And it will be what? 90 degrees plus 90 degrees to give you 180 degrees. If you are taking this straight line this way, the straight line is simply from here to here, right? And the angle will simply be 90 plus 90 degrees to give you 180 degrees. So in any way you take it, the angle on a straight line is simply 180 degrees. So now if here is 90, that means if you are moving from here to this end, you have what? 180 degrees. And if you are moving from, you always start from here. So if you are moving from here to this place, this angle becomes what? 270 degrees. That's 90 plus 90 plus 90. So if you have something like this, this angle is 270 degrees. So sum of angles on a circle is 360 degrees. So angle on a straight line is 180 degrees. Sum of angle on a circle is 360 degrees. While the sum of angles on a triangle is 180 degrees also. So if you have a right angle triangle like this, here is 90 degrees. So anything you have here and here, let's say here is 60 and here is 30, it will sum up to 180 degrees. So the total angle in a triangle is also 180 degrees. Now, this is a parallelogram. It's like a rectangle that is bending, rectangle with pride. So this is this, and this is the base. This here is your height. So to calculate the area of a parallelogram, it is simply the base times the height. And from this question, they gave us the base, which is b, is equals 12 cm. And the height, h, to be 1.5 cm. So the area A will be 12 cm times 1.5 cm. And that will give you 18 cm square. So which is option A. Option A is correct. The second question says, find the area of a circle whose radius is 17 cm. Take pi to be 22/7. Now the area of a circle, this is the formula. This is a circle. Area of a circle is simply pi r square. So A is equals, pi is constant, which is 22/7. You always be given the value for pi. If you are not given, just take it as 22/7. That's the value for pi. So this sign is called pi. Now times r is radius. And the radius given is 7 cm. But the radius is squared. So we have to look for square of the radius. So A is equals 22/7 times. Now 7 square is the same thing as 7 times 7, right? So we can put it in that form or just put a single value for 7 square. What I'm saying in essence is that you can also say A is equals 22/7 times 49. So that is 7 square. So I choose to do it this way so that I can simplify. So I can just say 1 7 cancels 1 7. So I have 22 times 7. And this will give you 22 7. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry 1. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 1 15. 154. So this will give you 154 cm square. This will also give you 154 cm square. So that's the area of the circle. Calculate the area of a semicircle of radius 14 cm. Take pi to be 22/7. So, and these are the options. Now, what is semicircle? Semicircle is simply half circle. If this is a circle, semicircle is simply half. So if you answer me this question, I don't need to worry myself about semicircle formula. I simply look for area of a circle and divide it by 2. I get half circle. So area of circle is simply area is equals pi r square. This is the formula for calculating area of a circle. This implies that area is equals 22/7 times 14 square, because radius is 14 and we are squaring the radius 14 square. This will simply give you 22/7 times 196, because 14 square is 196. So area will be 616 cm square. So this is the area of a full circle, but we are asked to look for the area of semicircle. So if you divide this area of two circle by 2, 616 divided by 2, that will give us the area of a semicircle, and that is 308 cm square. So that's the answer. So from this question, we've been able to find out that area of semicircle is equals pi r square over 2. So you can use this formula to solve directly. You get the same answer. Thank you for watching my video. I am Flash Isaac. Feel free to subscribe to this channel. Equations are simply expressions with equality sign. You have the equal to sign. If I give you 2s plus 1, this is not an equation, it's an expression. If I now say it's equal to something, let's say it equals 5, this becomes an equation. If you are solving this equation, this is simply, you have 2s, this is 1, this is 5. We collect like terms. So this means 2s is equals, this is plus 1. We'll take it to the other side to meet 5. And here it is positive plus 1. Immediately it crosses this equality sign, it becomes negative. So when it's here, it's no longer plus 1, it's now minus 1. So to have 5 minus 1, this will give you 2s is equals 5 minus 1 is 4. This is 4. We are looking for s, not 2s. So to remove this 2, we divide both sides by 2. And one thing in mathematical equation is that what happens to one side should happen to the other side. This is what makes the equation balance. So 2 divided 2 will give you 1. This will give you 1s, which is the same thing as s. So here we have s is equals 4 divided by 2 is equals 2. So the answer here is 2. This is how you solve basic equations. And in equations, we have linear equations. All these equations you are seeing, they are linear equations. The highest power is 1. We have quadratic equation. That one, the highest power is 2. I will solve those ones in the next videos. Just subscribe. You get all the videos you need. Then there is simultaneous equation. In that one, you are solving 2 equations together. So we have polynomials. In that one, we have higher powers. So which you will see if necessary. So now let's see the bECE questions. The first question says 1 over m is equals 4 over 5. Now, when you have this kind of equation, this is 1 over m equals 4 over 5. What you simply do, there's equality sign, fraction, fraction, and nothing here, nothing here. Cross multiply. That is it. And what is cross multiplication? You draw something like this either in your mind or in a rough sheet, or you say cross multiply. It means what is here multiplied by this equals what is here multiplied by this. So if you are saying what is here multiplied by this, 1 times 5 is equals 4 times m. 1 times 5 is 5 equals 4 times m is 4m. Now take a look at this. 4 times m is equals 4m. But 4 plus m is not equals 4m. You can add letter and alphabet. So 4 plus m is the same thing as 4 plus m. You can add them. And you can 4 minus m is the same thing as 4 minus m. It won't give you a single value. It's only multiplication that will work for numbers and alphabets. Now we have this. So we are looking for m and not 4m. What to do now is divide both sides by m, right? To remove this, divide both sides by 4 to remove m. So 4 divided by 4 will give you 1. That means 5 over 4, you'll be left with m. This implies that m is equals 5 over 4. The options are in mixed fraction. And our answer is in what? Improper fraction. When you are in this kind of situation, don't be crying like, hey, I did not get the answer. No, your answer is correct. Keep this one. Convert all these ones to mixed fraction. Anyone that gives you 5 over 4 is simply the answer. How do you do that? To convert this to improper fraction, simply say 4 times 1 is what? 4. Plus 1, 5. So option A is the same thing as 5 over 4, which is actually the correct answer. Now option B, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3 over this 2. So option B is the same thing as 3 over 2. Option C is 2 times 2 is 4, right? Plus 1, 5 over 2. So option C is actually 5 over 2. Option D is 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8 over 3. So this is 8 over 3. Option E is actually 4 times 3 is 12, right? 12 plus 1 is 13. So this is actually 13 over 4. So that's how you convert mixed fractions to improper fractions. So we've gotten our stuff, which is A. This is obviously 4 over s. So if that's 4 over s, that means you are solving the equation 4 over s is equals 8. Now take a look at this. This 8 is the same thing as 8 over 1, right? So we have this here, we have this here. To solve this, just cross multiply. So this will give you 4 times 1 is equals 8 times s, right? So 4 times 1 will give you 4 is equals 8 times s will give you 8s. So let's divide both sides by 8. This divide by this, that means we are left with only s here. 4 divided by 8 is simply 1 over 2. Because 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So s is equals 1 over 2. So that's option D. So you can see that equations in bECE are not that difficult. This next equation says solve 2s plus 3 over 3 minus 3s over 2 is equals minus 4. In this equation, you cannot cross multiply because you have two values here and one there. If it were a single, you can cross multiply. And look at something else. This thing minus is holding them. So when minus is holding two values and you are solving them, there is high chance that what you do is look for LCM. The LCM of 3 and 2 is 2, 3, 1. So 2 times 3 is 6. The LCM of 3 and 2 is 6. So we have 6 here. Now after looking for the LCM, we solve it this way. We say 6 divided by 3 is 2, right? We use the 2 to multiply this. So here will be 2s plus 3 minus. Now 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we use that 3 to multiply 3s to give you minus 4. Do you understand? Correct. Now we open this bracket to have 2 times 2s will give you 4s plus 2 times 3 is 6 minus 3 times 3 is 9. So instead this is 9s over 6 to give you equals minus 4. So looking at this, we have 4s, we have 9s. They are similar, so we can subtract. So here 6 is on its own. 4s minus 9s will give you minus 5s. 4 minus 9. Minus means you are owing. So you are owing 9, you have 4. So if you pay that 4, you still be owing 5. So it's still minus. Hope you get. So if you arrive at this, now 6 minus 5s, it won't work like I told you. But since this sign is covering everything, and this is the same thing as over 1, we can cross multiply. So cross multiplying, this will give you 6 minus 5s times 1 is remains equals minus 4 times 6, right? So this will give you 6 minus 5s is equals 4 times 6 is minus 4 times 6 is minus 24. So we are left with 6 minus 5s is equals minus 24. So we collect like terms. Let's bring minus 24 here and take minus 5s there so that the minus 24 will come and meet this 6. Or you can choose to take this 6 there and leave minus 5s. Any way you do it is correct. This will give you 6 minus 24 is crossing the equality sign. It will give you plus 24 equals minus 5s is going that way. It will become plus to give you 5s. 6 plus 24 is 30, right? So 30 is equals 5s. Now we are looking for s. We divide both sides by 5. Here over 5. Here over 5. This will cancel. So s will be 30 over 5. And this will give you 6. So the correct option here is 6. That's option B. So the last one says s minus 1 over 3 over 3 is equals 0. So in this equation, we are solving for s, and minus is holding them. So we can't just cross multiply. We have different ways to solve this equation. I will solve it in the 2 ways. You can choose to say, since there is minus here and this is 0, you can collect like terms. You can say s over 3 is equals, everything here goes this way to give you plus 1 over 3. Because this will give you 0 plus 1 over 3 to give you 1 over 3. Then you cross multiply to have 3s is equals 3. So s will give you 3 over 3 equals 1. You can do it this way, Or you come here and say s over 3 minus 1 over 3 is equals 0. So you can choose to look for LCM here. So that the LCM is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times s is s. 3 divided by 3 is 1 times minus 1 is minus 1 is equals 0. So solving this, s minus 1 is equals 3 times 0 after cross multiplying. So s minus 1 is equals 0. 3 times 0 is equals 0. So taking this minus 1 this way, it becomes positive. So s is equals 0 plus 1 is equals 500 naira to lodge in an hotel for 7 days. What is the cost of lodging in the same hotel for 3 days? A. 17,500 naira. B. 10,000 naira. C. 17,500 naira. D. 5,830 naira. E. 2,500 naira. This is how you solve this. Look at it. They said 7 days is how much? 17,500, right? Now, first, let's calculate how much it takes to lodge for 1 day. So if 7 days is 17,500, 1 day will give you what? We don't know yet. Let's 1 day be S. After arriving at this, the next thing you do is cross multiply this way and this way. So we multiply this by this and this by what? That. So 7 times S will give you what? 7S equals 1 times 17,500 will give you what? So when we divide both sides by 7, 7 divided by 7 will give you 1, right? We'll now be left with S. So S will be equals 17,500 divided by 7 will give you 2,500. Now, S is how much it takes to lodge in what? How many days? 1. So if it takes 17,500 to lodge for 7 days, 1 day will be 2,500. Now the question says, what is the cost of lodging in the same hotel for what? 3 days. If 1 day is 2,500, that means 3 days will be what? 2,500 times what? 3. So you have 2,500 times 3. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. Put down 5, carry 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 1 will carry 7. So 7,500, which is option C, is how much it will take to lodge in that hotel for probability means possibilities. And these are bECE questions under probability. Now the first question says, a die is thrown once. What is the probability that an odd number does not show up? Now, how many sides does a die has? A die has 6 sides. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the 6 sides. Now, how many odd numbers do we have in a die? Odd numbers are simply numbers that cannot be divided by 2 without having a decimal point. So they can't divide 2 without remainder. So odd number, you have 1, 3 is an odd number, and 5 is an odd number. So you have this as odd numbers. Now, the total numbers in the die is 6. That's the possible outcome. This is one outcome, one side, one side, one side. So this is 6. The even numbers in a die are 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. That's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So the probability of odd numbers appearing is 3 outcomes. Probability of even numbers is also 3 outcomes. And the total outcome is 6. So probability that an odd number will appear is 3 over 6, which is 1 over 2. The probability that an even number will appear is also 3 over 6, which is 1 over 2. Now, what is this is the probability that an odd number will appear. The question says, probability that an odd number does not show off. Probability that something does not happen is 1 minus probability that it will happen. So this is the probability that it will happen. Probability that it will not happen is 1 minus 1 over 2, which is 2 minus 1 to give you 1 over 2. The next question says, in a class of 30 students, 16 are boys. So total is equals 30, boys is equals 16. What is the probability of girl? So this question is asking us for probability of girl in the class. Now, first of all, let's look for the number of girls in the class. We have boys in class. Apart from boys, what else can we have? Is girls. So in life, the sex is that you are a boy or you are a girl. So this is 30 minus 16 will give you the number of girls in the class. So the number of girls in the class is equals 14. But the question is not asking us for the number of girls in this class. It's asking us for the probability of girls in the class. So probability of girls in the class is simply the number of girls over total number of students in the class. So that will give you 14 over 30. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So that's 7 over 15 is the answer. And the last question says, what is the probability that a pregnant woman will deliver a baby boy? When a woman is pregnant, it's either she gives birth to a boy or to a girl. So total outcome is 2, boy and girl. Possible outcome of boy is simply 1 out of the total outcome. So the probability of giving birth, take pi to be 22 over 7. A, 49 cm. B, 44 cm. C, 29 cm. D, 22 cm. And E, 7 cm. Now this question is pretty simple. The circumference of a circle is given by 2 pi r. So where pi is constant is given and r is the radius. So you simply substitute 2 times pi is 22 over 7. We are given. So 22 over 7 times our radius is 7 cm. We are given 7. C is simply 2 times 22. You see 7 times 7 we already cancel 7. So C is equals 44 cm. 65 naira. Find the percentage profit. A, 36 naira. B, 30 naira. C, 27 naira. And D, 26 naira. Then E, 24 naira. Look at it. It's sold. Selling price is how much? 315, right? Profit is 65. So take a look at this. If I sold something for 315 and I made profit, that means the amount I bought it is less than 315, right? Because out of this selling price, you made profit. Okay, let me put it this way. If I come to meet you that, I sold my phone 120 naira. You now ask me, how much did you gain? And I tell you that I gained 20 naira. What will come to your mind? It means, okay, he bought the phone 100 naira and now sold it for 120. That's why he made profit of what? 20 naira. Similarly, he sold it for 305 and they said he made a profit of 65 naira. That means the amount he actually bought it is the 315 minus the profit he made. So this will give you the what? Cost price. So subtracting 315 minus 65. 5 minus 5 is what? 0. You have 6 minus 1 is count goes. Take 1 here and put here, right? To give you what? 11. 6 minus 11 is what? 5. So this is 5. Then here will be remaining what? 2. This is 2. So that means he bought it, cost price is equals 250 naira. So now let me ask the question again. If I say I bought this thing 250, but I want to make a profit of 65 naira, how much do I sell it? To make a profit of 65 naira from buying something of 250, that means you are selling it for what? 305 naira. I'm sure it makes sense to you now, right? Now we are asked for percentage profit. The formula for percentage profit is simply cost selling price minus what? Cost price over cost price. For you to make profit, it means that the selling price is higher than the cost price. Cost price is the amount you bought something. So if I'm selling it higher than how much I got it, it means that I am making profit. So percentage profit will be equals selling price is what? 315, right? Minus cost price is what? 250, right? Over cost price, which is what? 250. So this is simply profit, or profit, that is 65, 315 minus 20 over 250 times 100. So this is your percentage profit. So in other words, percentage profit is simply profit over cost price. So you have different ways to solve it. So solve it with anyone that suits you. So this will give you 26 naira. So that's the percentage. This question says a man spends 1/4 of his monthly income on children's school fees and 3/5 on home affairs. What fraction of his income is left? A. 17/20, B. 3/4, C. 2/5, D. 7/20, and E. 3/20. Look at it. He spends 1/4 of his income on what? Children's school fees and 3/5 on home affairs. So these are the fraction he spent, and the income is the whole number. So his income is 1. When you have this type of question, that's how you solve it. Let the income be what? 1, because 1 is the whole number. When you are not spending this side, you begin to get this fraction. So these are the fraction the man spent. So this on this and this on that. What you do is, let's add the fraction to see the total amount spent. Is that okay? So the amount he spent, or the fraction of the money he spent, is 1/4 plus 3/5. We look for the LCM. The LCM of 4 and 5 is 20. So if you don't know how to look for LCM, this is 4, this is 5. So you check what can divide any of them. 2 can divide 4, right? So 4 divided by 2 will give you 2. 5 divided by 2, it won't work. So we'll let it be. 2 can still go, right? So when you put 2 here, 2 divided by 2 is 1. Here remains 5, because 5 divided by 2, you have fraction. Now the next thing that can go is what? 5. So we have 5 here. Here remains 1. 5 divided by 5, it will remain 1. So here we have 1 here and 1 here. Then we are done. Then you multiply everything here. 2 times 2 times 5. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So that's how we arrived at the LCM. After getting the LCM, you look at here, you look at here, you look at here, you look at here. You say this LCM that we have multiplied by this denominator. Pardon. You say this LCM that we had divided by this denominator. So this will give you 20 divided by 4 to give you 5. They will multiply it by this. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 20 divided by 5 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 12. So this is equals to 5 plus 12 is 17. This is 17/20. This is how you solve this type of odd fractions. Now, 17/20 is the amount spent, but we are not looking for the amount spent. Look at the question. It says income that is left. So don't go and rush and shade 17/20. That's not what is left. This is what was spent. So what is left is the whole number, right, minus 17 over 20. So what is left is the full amount, that is whole number, minus the amount spent. So this is the fraction spent. So this will now give you, this is the same thing as over 1. Hope you know. So we'll do the same thing we did here. The LCM is 20. 20 divided by 1 is 20 times 1 remains 20 minus 20 divided by 20, 1. 1 times 17 is 17. So this will give you 3 over 20. So 3 over 20 is the amount that is left, and that will give you option E. So that's how to solve a trouser which costs 3,000 naira. How much will a buyer pay for the trouser? Now look at it. Cost. The original cost is 3,000 naira. So ignore this 00. They are kobo. Now 35% discount is given. This means the original cost is 3,000 naira, but the buyer is buying it for 35% less than the original price. So how much will the buyer now pay? Now let's see how much he removed. They said the amount he removed is 35% of 3,000. So 35% is the same thing as 35 over 100. This is 35% times 3,000. So 35 over 100 times 3,000 is amount removed or discount. So this is the discount in percentage, this is the discount in actual amount. So when you solve this, we have this 20 cancels this 20. We have 35 times 30, which will give you 1050 naira. So we solve this. This is the discount. So instead of 3,000, the seller removed 1,050 naira from the trouser. So the amount any buyer will buy it will simply be the normal price, which is 3,000 naira, minus the amount he removed, which is 1,050 naira. So this should give you 1950. So this is the amount, and that's option C, 1950. Thank you for watching my video. I am Flash Isaac. Feel free to subscribe to this channel, Flash Learners, to get my updates on new videos. This question says, make R the subject formula in pi r square is equals v r square. Now, change of subject formula is actually a single variable in an equation which other things are equal to, and it's usually at the left. Look at this. If you look at this option R, option E, it says R is equals r root v. In this case, the subject here is R, right? So if I give you P is equals mv square, the subject here is P, right? If I say V is equals ut plus at, the subject here is V, so it's that single variable that every other thing is equal to. Now, if I say area is equals length times breadth, LB, the subject formula here is A. Change of subject formula is simply changing the subject, making another thing to stand alone, y is equal to the rest. So if I say make L subject formula here, it means let L be alone and equal to any other thing. Here, if I say make A subject formula, it means I don't want V to be here. Change it, rearrange this equation so that A will be here and it will be equal to every other thing. That's what change of formula is about. Now, if you are making L subject formula here, it means I'm changing the subject formula from A to L. I'll simply say this is L, this is B. So to make L stand alone, if I divide here by B and divide here by B, so B divided by B would give you 1. So A over B is equals L, and L is equals A over B. So with this, I've made L subject formula in this equation. Okay, this, if you are making A subject formula here, it means I am changing from V to A. So I can simply say, okay, bringing this ut this way, it becomes negative. So I can say V minus ut is equals AT, right? So I can say, since I'm looking for a, let me divide both sides of the equation by t, because what happens to one side should happen to the other side to make sure that the equation remains balanced. If I'm doing that, this 1 over t, this over t, t cancels t. I'll be left with a is equals v minus u t over t. So with that, I've made a subject formula. I've changed subject from v to a. Similarly in this, if I'm making m subject formula here, I can divide both sides by v. So if I say p is equals mv square, and I divide both sides by v square, v square will simply cancel v square. So p over v square is equals m. So m is equals p over v square. I've made m subject formula here. If I'm making v subject formula, I will say p is equals mv square. So if I divide both sides by m here, m divided by m will give you 1. So m has cancelled m. P over m here is equals v square. But we are looking for v and not v square. So what to do is, to remove this square, you look for the square root of both sides. So square root is used to remove square, while square is used to remove square root. So this is square. So if I look for the square root of here and square root of here, this square root will cancel this square. So v will be left here, and here will be p over m is equals v. So v is equals square root of p over m. It is the same thing as square root of p over square root of m. So I made v subject formula here. That's how to solve questions involving change of subject formula. So look at this question before us. It says pi arrow square is equals v arrow square. So we are making small arrow subject formula, not big arrow. If I'm doing that, I'll say, okay, divide both sides by v, right? So this over v, this over v, this divided by this. So I will be left with pi arrow square over v is equals arrow square. And now remember what I told you. To remove square, we look for square root of both sides. So if I square root of this and this square root will remove this square. I'll be left with pi arrow square over v is equals arrow. So arrow will be equals. Now, if you look at this side, remember I told you that square root can remove square, right? Square and square root can cancel. If you look at this here now, this arrow is squared, right? And this is inside square root. This implies that this square root can remove this square from this arrow to make sure that the square root is broken from here. So with that, this square cancel this square root away from just arrow. So this becomes arrow is equals square root of pi over v times arrow, because the square on top of arrow has removed square root from itself. Or in another word, square root of arrow square is equals arrow. Equals arrow. So this implies that small arrow is equals big arrow root pi over v. So this question says convert 1101010 base 2 to denary. A 2110, B 106, C 53, D 43, and E 33. Now a question comes to mind. What is a denary? For some of you, you may actually know how to solve this thing, but denary is confusing you. Let me break the news to you. Denary is also known as base 10. We are converting a number in base 2 to base 10. So to do that, we bring out the number 11010 base 2. So you can do it as this 2 or as 2. Since the number is in base 2, to convert to base 10, follow this step. You see this number, you see this number, you see this, see this. So multiply each of them by 2. As you are multiplying, you are adding. Let me do it. You take this 1 now. 1, multiply it by 2 times 2. Okay? And you say plus. Take this other one. You say 1, multiply it by 2. Then you say plus. You see this 0? 0 times 2 plus this 1 times 2 plus 0 times 2 plus 1 times 2 plus last 0 times 2. After this step, you go to this last 2. This last 2 on top, put 0. Here put 1. This next 2, put 2, put 3, put 4, put 5, put 6. Okay? So this is this. So the next step is to solving or to simplify. Now 2 raised to the power of 6. Here we have 1 times 2 raised to the power of 6 is simply 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So this is 64 plus 1 times 5 raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 5 is 2 into 5 places. That means 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2. So 2 raised to the power of 5 is 32. So this will give you 32 plus 0 times 2 raised to the power of 4 is 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16. This is 16 plus 1 times 2 raised to the power of 3 is 8 plus 0 times 2 raised to the power of 2 is 4 plus 1 times 2 raised to the power of 1 is 2 plus 0 times 2 raised to the power of 0 is 1. Any meaningful number raised to the power of 0 will give you 1. Now that you've arrived at this, so you see here now times this times this, 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 and this times this. So 1 times 64 will give you 64 plus 1 times 32 will give you 32 plus 0 times 16 will give you 0 plus 1 times 8, 8 plus 0 times 4 will give you 0 plus 1 times 2, 2 plus 0. So the meaningful numbers are 64 plus 32 plus 8 plus 2. So this will give you 64 plus 4 plus 8 plus 2 is 10, right? 10 plus 32 will give you 42. So this will give you 64, 42. 4 plus 2 will give you 6, right? 6 plus 4 is 10. So this will give you 106 base 10. So the answer is B, 106. Two whole number 7/9. Option A says 2/3. Option B says 1 whole number 1/3. Option C says 1 whole number 2/3. Option D says 2 whole number 1/3. Option E says 2 whole number 2/3. Now, this is square roots, and when you have something like this, it is called mixed fraction. So this is 2 7/9. Fraction is simply a number that has numerator and denominator. So when you have something like this, 1/8, this is the upper part. It's called numerator, and this is the lower part. It's called denominator. So if the numerator is smaller than the denominator, it is called proper fraction. If the denominator, if you have 8/7, in this case, the denominator is smaller than the numerator. So the numerator is bigger than the denominator. It is improper. Improper fraction. Now, once you have something like this, you have whole number and fraction. It is called mixed fraction. So if you are given mixed fraction in most questions, you will be required to convert it to improper fraction. How do you convert mixed fraction to improper fraction? You look at what is at the bottom, look at what is here and here. So you multiply this times this, then plus this. So in that case, we have 2 times 9. The answer you have plus 7 over this 9. That's how you convert mixed fraction to improper fraction. Let me repeat. Anything that is at this bottom, you use it to multiply what is here, the whole number, and add what is at this top here. Any answer you get, you divide it by the number that is at this bottom. That's which is this. This implies that if you are converting this 1 now to improper fraction, we'll say this 3 times 1 to be 3 times 1. Any answer we have, we add it to what is at the top, which is 1, right? 1 divided by this 3 that we are using to multiply over 3. So in this case, here will give us 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, 4. So here we'll have 4 over 3. So converting this to improper fraction, the answer is 4 over 3. Now converting here, 2 times 9 will give you 18. This is 18. So 18 plus 7, this will give you 25. Yeah, 25. So here is 25 over 9. So remember, it's in square root. So we've converted this to improper fraction. So this is now 25 over 9. So life has been made easy for us. You know why? The square root of 25 is what? 5. So it's 5. So we remove the square root. The square root of 9 is what? 3. So your answer is 5 over 3. Now, do you know why the square root of 25 is 5? This is because 5 times 5 is 25. Look at it. 4 times 4 is 16. This implies that the square root of 16 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. This means that the square root of 4 will be what? 2. So this is our answer, 5 over 3. But you notice something. Is there 5 over 3 in the option? No, but there is. You know what you will now do? Since this is your answer, don't stress yourself. Just change all this mixed fraction to improper fraction. Anyone that will give you 5 over 3 is your answer. So don't say, I don't fail, Ambo. No. So we've already converted B, right? We got 4 over 3. So this is not the answer. Then we look at option C. Option C, 3 times 1 is what? 3. Plus 2 is what? 5 over this 3. That's 5 over 3, right? So what's our answer? 5 over 3. So this question says, express 0.00001208 in standard form. A, 12.08 times 10 to the power minus 6. B, 1.208 times 10 to the power minus 6. C, 1.208 times 10 to the power minus 5. D, 1.208 times 10 to the power minus 4. E, 1.208 times 10 to the power minus 7. How do you do this? First, write out the number. So you see, this is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And this is the decimal point. What you do is move the decimal point to the into the front of the first number that is not 0. Look at it. This is 0, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0. And the first number that is not 0 is 1, right? So we move the decimal point to the first number that is not 0. And how many times you move determines the answer you get. For example, if you are moving this way, you are sure of having the value times 10 to the power of minus. Your answer will be minus because you are moving this way. If we are counting this way toward the whole number, it will be times 10 to the power of something or plus something. So here we are sure of having negative. Now, if you move once, you get times 10 to the power of minus 1. If you move 2 times, you get times 10 to the power of minus 2. So the number of times we move to get to the front of this number that is not 0 will determine what to be here. So let's see how many times we move. From here now we've moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we moved 5 times to get to this place. This implies that we are getting times 10 to the power of minus 5. And this is the value. So you have 1.208 times 10 raised to the power of minus 5. So this is the answer you are expected to get for this question. And what option is that? 1.208 times 10 to the power of minus 5. So that is option C. So you've gotten the right. This question says, find the diameter of a circle whose circumference is 44 cm or 44 centimeter. A, 44 centimeter. B, 28 centimeter. C, 22 centimeter. D, 14 centimeter. And E, 7 centimeter. Now, what do we know about diameter? If you are given a circle like this, diameter, this is from here to here is radius. From here to here is what? radius, arrow and arrow. So the distance between the center to any end of the circle is radius. So if from here to here is also radius, from here to here is radius, from center to any point. Now diameter is the total end to end. This implies that diameter will be radius plus radius, right? So diameter is equals arrow plus arrow, and it's equals what? 2 arrow. That means diameter is equals 2 times radius. Now we are given circumference also. Circumference is equals 2 pi arrow. This is the formula for circumference. Now we have circumference, right? 44 cm, and we know pi 22/7. So we don't know radius. This implies that if we use this circumference formula, we can solve for radius. And when we get our radius, if we multiply the radius by 2, we'll get what? Diameter. This is what you do in this question. So circumference, this is 44 is equals 2 times 22/7 times arrow. This is equals 44 is equals 2 times 22 is what? 44. So we have 44/7 times arrow. Now when you have something like this in maths, what do? You cross multiply, right? Because this is the same thing as over 1. This is cross multiplication. 44 times 7 is equals 1 times 44 arrow to give you 44 arrow. Now let's divide both sides by 44 to make arrow subject formula. So arrow is equals 44 will cancel 44, right? So this implies that radius is equals 7 cm. But what are we looking for? Diameter and not radius. But remember I said that diameter is equals what? 2 radius. That is arrow plus arrow. So arrow plus arrow. Find the positive difference between -8 and -14. A -22, B -6, C 11, D 22, and E 6. Now from the question it says find the positive difference. So this implies that we are looking for an answer that will be positive. That's first thing. And secondly, it means that after solving we may arrive at a negative value, but it's the positive we want, so we don't want the minus. So we remove the minus and put the positive value. That's what the question is about. And secondly, it says difference between -8 and -14. It simply means -8 minus -14. So we are subtracting the numbers. So this is -8, right? Minus 14. You get it? So this is -8, this is -14. So we are minusing them. That's what difference is about. Now don't make the mistake of saying the difference is -8 minus 14. This is wrong because this number itself is carrying minus, and the operation you are doing is minusing them. So you look at this, you have -8, here you have minus and you have minus. So this leads you to minus times minus. Minus times minus will give you plus. So this has turned to plus, and this is 14. So now we are not left with -14 plus 8. Sorry, we are not left with -8 plus 14. You can solve this in different ways. You can say let minus be that you are owing, and let plus be that you have. So if you are owing 8 naira and you have 14 naira, then you pay the person you are owing. How much will you be having? It's the same thing of saying 14 minus 8. This should give you 6, right? So the positive difference between -8 and -14 is 6. So you find the value of S in the figure below. This figure is simply a right-angled triangle because one of the angle is 90 degrees. This is 90, and the total angle in a triangle is 180 degrees. 90 plus the angle here plus the angle here will simply give you 180 degrees. To look for the value here, we simply use the Pythagoras Theorem. Pythagoras Theorem simply says that h square is equals o square plus a square. Now, h is the what? Hypotenuse. This is the longest part. It's called the hypotenuse. O is opposite. This is the opposite. So that is opposite the hypotenuse. A stands for adjacent. So adjacent is this down angle. So what you simply do is substitute into this formula. H is what? 20, right? So square. So 20 square is equals O. We don't. O is S. So S meter. So we don't have O. So we put S square plus A is the adjacent, 16 meter. So 16 meter square will give you 16 square, right? So this is same thing as S square will be equals 20 square. This is plus 16. When you take it to this side, it becomes minus 16 square. So S square will be equals 20 square is 20 times 20. 20 times 20. 0, 0, 0, 4. So this is 400, right? 400 minus 16 square is 16 times 16. 6 times 6 will give you what? 36. Is 6 plus the 3 we carried. 7, 8, 9. To give you 9. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. So this will give you 6. 15 carry 1. Add the one we carried. So here is 2, 5, 6. So we've arrived at this. So S square is equals 400 minus 256. 400, 256. So this cannot go. So we take 1 here, bring here. This becomes 10. Take 1 from 10, bring here. This becomes 9. This becomes 10. So 6 minus 10 is 4. 5 minus 9 is 4. 2 minus 3, because this will remain 3. 2 minus 3 is 1. So that is 1, 4, 4. So now look at it. We are looking for S and not S squared. So to remove this square from any value, you look for square root of both sides. So in that case, square root of this, square root of this. So this square we cancel square root. So S is equals square root of 144. So S becomes 12. That is your answer. Yeah, this question says, find the HCF of 186, 310, and 434. So looking for the HCF, the first thing we do is this. We bring out the numbers. We have 186, we have 310, and we have 434. So you notice that these are high numbers. So we start with small values that can divide any of them. Looking at this number, we can try 2. 186 divided by 2 would give you 93. 3110 divided by 2 should give you 155, right? So this will give you 155. And 434 divided by 2 would give you 217. Now, we check what number can we try. 3 won't go, 4 won't go. Let's try the next number that can go. So 5 can go into this. So let's try 5. 93 divided by 5 will give you 93. It won't go. 155 divided by 5 should give you 31. 217 divided by 5, it won't work. So we put 217 here. So let's see the next small number. 31 can go into these numbers. So if we have 31 here, 93 divided by 31, no. 31 divided by 31 would give you 1. Now 217 divided by 31 would give you 7. So what other numbers can we try? Okay, we can still try 7 going up gradually. So if we have 7 here, this remains 93, it won't work. This remains 1. 7 divided by 7 is what? 1. So we have 1 here. So the next number we can actually try is obviously 93. So if you have 93 here, 93 divided by 93 is 1. So here remains 1, here remains 1. So the highest number here is your HCF, which is 93. Find the smallest number by which 60 must be multiplied by to give a perfect square. If we say 60 times 15, 60, 15. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30, right? So we have 30. Then you come here. 1 times 0 is 0, right? 1 times 6 is 6. So this is 0, 0, 900. So 60 times 15 will give you 900. And what is the square root of 900? It will give you 30. So this is a whole number. Now look at it. 60 times 10 would give you 600. The square root of 600 is not a whole number. Likewise, 6, 5, and 3. So this will give you a whole number. So the answer that will give you a perfect square when multiplied by 60 is simply 15. So out of these numbers, this is the one. You may say, okay, let's try 3. If you try 3, 60 times 3, this will give you 0. 6 times 3 will give you 18, right? Now, the square root of 18 is not a whole number. So our answer is... So these are bECE simultaneous equation questions. Now, when you are given a simultaneous equation question, you can choose to solve it either using substitution method or elimination method or graphical method. Let's bring out the equation. This is s plus y is equals to, this is equation 1. S minus y is equals 1, equation 2. We've numbered the equations. After numbering the equations, remember, we are using substitution method. You can use any method to solve. But if you are using substitution method, this is what we do. Look for one of the equations and make s or y subject formula. Look at what I mean. I can say from equation 2, s is equals 1 plus y. Because if I make s subject formula, it means I'm taking this minus y to this side. It's becoming positive when crossing. So making s subject formula here, it is equals 1 plus y, and this is our equation 3. Now that we have equation 3, substitute 1 plus y for s in equation 1. Hence, it is called substitution method. So any equation you see, any simultaneous equation you see, and you are solving using substitution method, what you do is, after numbering the equation, look for any of the equation and make s or y subject formula. Anyone you make subject formula first, you get the same answer. So here, I'm choosing equation 2 and I'm making s subject formula. I'm making s subject formula in equation 2. I got s is equals 1 plus y. I made s subject formula from equation 2. So what I will do is now, I'll substitute this value of s in equation 1. So if for you, you made s subject formula. Okay, let me do it together for you to get. So I'm doing this. So let's say for your own, you can say you are making y subject formula and from equation 1. So you just say from equation 1, y is equals 2 minus s. Abi, to get your equation 3. So here I'm saying substitute 1 plus y for s in equation 1. You will now say substitute 2 minus s for y in equation 2. Because you made subject formula in equation 1, you substitute in equation 2. Me, I made subject formula in equation 2, I will substitute in equation 1. I hope you understand. If you don't, please, you may want to start the video again. I want you to understand how this thing works. So I will now say, okay, now equation 1, equation 1 is s plus y is equals 2. Now instead of s, we found the new value of s to be 1 plus 1. So we simply put it here to have 1 plus y plus this y that's already here is equals 2. Hence, we've substituted s as 1 plus y here. That's why it is called substitution method. So let's say you are the one solving this. Having gotten equation 3, so this y is equals 2 minus s, you now put it for y in equation 2. So you will say from equation 2, s minus, instead of y, we are now putting 2 minus s is equals 1. You are getting the logic, right? So now here, I will simply say 1 plus y plus y is equals 2. 1 plus 2y is equals 2. So 2y is equals 2 minus 1. 2y is equals 1. Dividing both sides by 2, y is equals 1 over 2. Here I collected like terms, and here I simplified. In your own, you can now come here and say s. Now look at it, this is in the bracket. You have to take note of this, and there's minus here. So we need to use minus to open this bracket. We now have minus 2. Minus times minus is plus. So this is plus s is equals 1. Take note of this. Anytime you're having minus of something, make sure the something is in bracket so that you don't have sign issue. If you look at this option, you see minus 1 over 2, minus 1 over 2, 1 over 2. So confusing signs can just change your answer. Then you continue. So we have s here, we have s here, s plus s. We have 2s minus 2 is equals 1. 2s is equals 1. Taking minus 2 this way, it becomes plus 2. So 2s is equals 3. Dividing both sides by 2, s is equals 3 over 2. Now, you may be shouting, but it's different answer. It's not different answers. Look at this. Because I made s subject formula, I got the value of y first. So that one, you made y subject formula, so you got the value of s first. So this is y, this is s. In simultaneous equation, you look for two values, value of s and value of y. So what do you do next? Now that we have y, remember, from equation 2, they told us that s is equals 1 plus y from equation 3. Remember? From equation 3. In that case, s is equals 1 plus, but now y is 1 over 2. We've gotten the value. So instead of y, we put 1 over 2. You see why it is called substitution method. So this will give you s is equals 1, the LCM, this is the same thing as over 1. So 1 over, this will give you 2, 2 plus 1, this will give you 3 over 2. Because 1 plus 1 over 2 is 3 over 2. S is equals 3 over 2. Now, for you, remember you said to your equation 3 is y is equals 2 minus s. So y is equals 2 minus s, and y is equals 2 minus, remember you solved for s, your s is 3 over 2. So which is 2 minus 3 over 2. This will give you 1 over 2. So for you, you got y is equals 1 over 2 and s is equals 3 over 2. For me, I got y is equals 1 over 2 and s is equals 3 over 2. So we got the same thing. Anyhow you do it, you get the same thing. So the same thing applies to the second question. S plus 2y is equals 4. S plus 3y is equals 5. So here, they're asking us to calculate s minus y. It simply means look for the value of s, look for the value of y, and subtract. So to do that, if I'm solving this question using substitution method, I will just say s is equals 4 minus 2y equation 3, 1, 2. So putting that here, 4 minus 2y plus 3y is equals 5. Don't ask me why. I took over 10 minutes to explain them before. So I need to be fast in solving these two. So this will give you 4 plus y is equals 5. Y is equals 1. So that's the value of y. Okay, putting the value of y in equation 3, s is equals 4 minus 2y. S therefore is equals 4 minus 2 times 1 because y is 1. S is equals 4 minus 2. S is equals 2. So s is equals 2, y is equals 1. S minus y is simply 2 minus 1 to give you 1. So the answer here is 1. The answer here is, I think this will be E, 1 over 2, 3 over 2. Y. Simply put the value of s in any of the equation, you get the same answer. So if you are putting s as 1 here, equation 4 becomes 1 minus 2y is equals 5. So 1 minus 5 is equals 2y. Minus 4 is equals 2y. Y is equals minus 2. If I am putting s equals 1 here, I'll simply have 4, 1 minus 2y is equals 8. So minus 2y is simply 8 minus 4. Minus 2y is simply 4. Y is simply 4 over minus 2 to give you minus 2. So that is it on simultaneous equation. A is directly proportional to B. This is how you represent it. A to B. Now, if I say A is inversely proportional to B or A varies inversely as B, this is how you represent that. A inversely as B. So this is direct and this is inverse. Now, when you have these variation questions, we don't solve with proportionality sign. We solve with equality sign. Now, to change proportionality sign to equality sign, we simply introduce constant. In that case, we change this proportionality sign to equals k. So anywhere you see proportionality sign, we put equals k constant. And after getting equals k, the first values in variation actually allows us to find constant. Now, for A, this direct variation, it becomes A is equals KB. We've changed the variation or proportionality sign to equality sign. This, for inverse, is simply A is equals K over B. K times 1 over B. So that's that. Now let's look at the questions. I'll prefer we start with this second one. It says M varies directly as N. So like I told you, this is how you represent that. M varies directly as N. And changing it to equality sign, it becomes M is equals Kn. So proportionality sign is the same as Kn. Now they say M is equals 2 when N is equals 1. So this first statement is to enable us to look for K. We have the value of M and N. So M is 2 is equals K. N is 1 times 1. So this will give you 2 is equals K times 1 is the same thing as K. So K is equals 2. We've gotten that value. Now that we have the value of K, the constant, look at what the question is now saying. It says find M when N is equals 4. So the relationship between M and N is simply M is equals Kn. This is the relationship. Now, we say we should find M when N is 4. And we know K is constant, which is 2 times the new value of N, which is 4. So M is equals 8. That's your final answer. S varies inversely as p squared. This implies that S is proportional to 1 over p squared, like I established. This also implies that S is equals k over p squared. So it says S is equals 2 when p is equals 4. So S is equals 2, p is equals 4. Now, this first statement is to enable us to look for k. So S2 is equals k over 4 squared. When we substitute here, S equals 2, p is equals 4. 2 is equals k over 4 times 4 is 16. So k is equals 32. So that's the value of constant. Now what are they saying? They say find the formula connecting them. The formula connecting them is simply here. S is equals k over p squared. This is the formula connecting them. And we've found the value of k. So S will simply be equals k, which is 32 over simple interest on 650 naira for 2 years at 6% per annum. And these are the options. In simple interest, per annum simply means per year. So this means this is the money borrowed, the principal, and time is 2 years. So every year is paying 6% interest. Interest is the amount paid on capital or money borrowed. And so solve simple interest, which is SI, is equals P times R times T over 100. This is the formula for calculating simple interest. Sometimes you'll be given the simple interest, the principal, and rate, and asked to look for time. Sometimes you'll be given the simple interest, time, and rate, and asked to look for the principal. Sometimes you'll be given the simple interest in amount, you'll be given the principal and time, and asked to look for rate. So whatever you are looking for, what you just need is to substitute the values you are given. That's all in simple interest. Look at this question. It says calculate the simple interest. So in this question, we are calculating simple interest. Simple interest is equals on 650 naira. So this is the amount that is borrowed, or amount in question. So it is called principal, and that is P. So P is 650. And for 2 years, so this is time. T is equals 2 years. And when anyway you see 6% per annum, percentage in simple interest, that percent stands for rate. So R is equals 6. And 6% actually means 6 over 100. Anything percent means the value divided by 100. 10% means 10 over 100. So since this 100 is already here, no need to add 100 or percentage sign. Just put only the value. So R, which is rate, is 6 times time is 2, which is 2 years. 2 over 100. So solving this will give you 78 naira once you multiply and divide. And note, in simple interest, you must solve in years. Yes, sometimes they can give you 6 months instead of years. In that case, you convert months to years. 6 months is half years, 1 over 2 years. So if this year 6 months time, instead of using 6, you use half years. So here will now be 1 over 2. That's that for simple interest. So I explained everything so that anyhow the question comes, you know what to do. I've used one stone to kill all the birds on that simple interest. Find the mean of the following set of numbers. So to find mean of numbers is simply adding all the numbers and dividing by how many they are. It is simply summation of S over N. So the mean of this will be 2 plus 6 plus 4 plus 8 plus 3 plus 7 over how many are they? You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are 6 numbers. So adding them, 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 8, 20. 20 plus 3, 23. 23 plus 7 is 30. So this is 30 over 6. 30 over 6 is 5. So the mean of these numbers is simply 5. That's option C. The second one says, the score of 9 students are, these are the scores. What is the modal score? Modal score is simply the score that appears most. So let's analyze the score. The first score is 14. So how many times did 14 appear? 1, 2. 14 appeared 2 times. Now let's see 15. How many times did 15 appear? 15, just once. 15, how many times did 9 appear? 9 appeared just once. 20 appeared just once. 16 appeared just once. And 18 appears just once. So the number that appeared the most is 14. So the mode is the number with the highest frequency. So 14 is the modal score. That's 14. The next question says, find the median of the following numbers. Median is simply the middle number after the number is arranged in order. So we arrange this number in ascending order and check the middle number. So let's check. Do we have 1? No. We have 2. So you say 2, comma. We have another 2. So we put it. So the next in order is 3. So 3 appeared once. Then 4. 4. 5 appeared once. 6 once. 7. There's no 8. So we have 9. We have 10. We have 11. So let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it seems correct. Now what is the middle number? Is the number at the middle. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. We take this away. 1, 2, 3, 4. We take it away. Now I told you that median is the middle number. But in this case, we have 2 numbers at the middle. So we can't just take 1. What you do is we add the 2 and divide by 2. So this will simply give you 11 over 2. So 11 over 2 is obviously 5.5. So this will give 5.5. That's the median score. And if you asked to look for mode in this question, mode is simply 2 because 2 appeared most. And if you are looking for the mean, it's simply to add everything and divide by 10 because the total number is 10. So that's how you solve this type of question. The next question says, if the mean of this guy is 3, so we have 2, S, 5, 4, and 3. So we are told that the mean is 3. And remember how we calculate mean. If we are looking for mean of this number, it is simply be 2 plus S plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 5. So that's the mean. But already we are given the mean and they say the mean is 3. Therefore 3 is equals 2 plus S plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 over 5. 3 will be equals S plus 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10 plus 4. So the numbers here add up to give you 14, if I am correct, over 5. So the next thing is to cross multiply. 3 times 5 is 15. So 15 is equals S plus 14. So S will be 15 minus 14 to give you 1. So the value of S is 1. you can actually confirm whether it's correct. If everything here is 14, 14 plus 1 will give you 15. 15 over 5 is 3, so it's correct. The last question here says, find the mean of 3s plus s plus 4s plus 5s plus 4s, blah blah blah. So the mean will be simply adding the numbers 3s plus s plus 4s plus 5s plus 4s plus 2.5s plus 3s. And how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they are 7 over 7. So this will give you 22.5s over 7. That should give you 3.2 or something s. So that's the value of. If the bearing of A from B is 135 degrees, what is the bearing of B from A? Now, this is how you solve all these kind of bearing questions. Bearing simply speaks of direction. When you are dealing with bearing, you are dealing with angles and you are dealing with directions. If I give you something like this, in this angle, this is simply 90 degrees. This is 90 also. This is 90 degrees and this is 90 degrees also. This implies that from here to here is what? 90 degrees. Then if you are moving from here to here, it means you are moving 90 degrees plus 90 degrees. That will give you 180 degrees. Now, if you are moving from here to this end, you are moving 90 plus 90 plus 90 degrees. That's 270 degrees. If you are moving from this place towards the end, you are forming a circle. That will give you 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 90. That is 360 degrees. So the angle in a circle is 360 degrees. The bearing of A from B. So that means we started from B. You're starting from B. Here, let here be B. Let's say this is B. And you draw this here. So the angle of A from B is 135 degrees. So that means B is from here to here is 90. From here to here is what? 180. But it's not up to 180, it's 135 degrees. So you don't need to be accurate, but you know that it will be around here, not up to 180. So that means from here to here, assume here to be 135 degrees because it's not up to 180. The end here is 180. So if this is 35 degrees, this is A, this is B. So from B, the bearing of A from B is 135 degrees. Now, look at the question they are asking. What is the bearing of B from A? The bearing we are looking for, we are simply looking for here. We are starting from here to here. If here is 90 and here is 90, this implies that from here to here will be 180, right? Now, if here is also 90, this implies that starting from here and ending here is what? 270 degrees. So it means we are looking for the value of the angle here. The angle here will determine what will add to 270. So it simply means here is 45 degrees. Now, look at it if it doesn't make sense to you. I told you that the bearing of B from A is 135 degrees, right? So this means I told you from here to here is 180 because here to here is 90 and here to here is 90, which is 180. But the angle we are looking for is 135 degrees. It's not up to 180. So you can't close it here. So it will be around here. So from here to here is 135 degrees. Now, if from here to here is 135 degrees, and we already know that from here to here is 90 degrees, right? And from here to here is 135 degrees. This implies that only here will be 45 degrees. And if here is 45 degrees, here is also 45 degrees, alternate angles. So our bearing will simply be, we are moving from here to here, which is 90 plus 90 plus 90, that's 270 degrees plus 45 degrees. 315 degrees. So 315 degrees is the bearing of B from A. Now, if you are given another bearing and they say you that the bearing of A from B is 60 degrees, if you are told something like that, this is simply, you know that from here to here is 90 degrees, right? And we are told that the bearing is 60 degrees. So 60 degrees is not up to 90. So you can just say, okay, let me just pick around here so that I can call here 60 degrees. So if you choose to do that and you are asked what is from here to here, it will simply be 90 minus 60, right? That means here will be 30 degrees is 78. Find the largest number. Now, how do you solve this type of questions in Junior Waec or bECE? This is what you do. They say the sum of 3 consecutive numbers. This means the number is increasing by 1. That's what consecutive number is. You can let anything be the number. So let's say, you can say let the number be A, let it be S, let it be M. This is because the number is unknown. In mathematics, when we don't know certain stuff, we take them as S, Y, or any letter of the alphabet. Now, let's say the number is S. So if the number is S, then consecutive numbers, it means the first number is S plus, because we are summing the numbers. Okay, let's do it this way. It means the first number is S, right? Now, the second number will be what? S plus 1. Because it's consecutive, it's increasing. If the second number is S plus 1, then the third number will be what? S plus 2. So this is the first, second, and third. If they have told us 4 consecutive numbers, you can take the first number as S, the second number will be S plus 1, the third number will be S plus 2, and the fourth number will be S plus 3. If it were 2 consecutive numbers, you can take the first number as anything, let's say A, then the second number will be A plus 1. So that's how you do it. Now, these are the 3 consecutive numbers. They say the sum of the 3 consecutive numbers, meaning once you add these numbers plus that sum, S plus 1 plus S plus 2. So this is the sum of the 3 consecutive numbers. And they say the sum is equals 78. So equals 78. Now, the question is, find the largest number. The largest number will obviously be S plus 2, right? Because this is S plus 1, S is 2. So we know that the largest number will be S plus 2. But do we know S? We don't know. So let's find S. So doing this is taking S plus 1 plus S plus 2 equals 78. So let's add the S part. There's S here, S here, S here, and you are adding S plus S will give you 3S, right? Then 1 plus 2 will give you 3 plus 3 is equals 78. So 3S is equals 78 minus 3. So 3S is equals 75. So S is 75 over 3, which is equals 25. So now, this is the number which is S. So this implies that S is equals 25. S plus 1 will be what? 26. So if this is 25, here will be 26, right? Then S plus 2 will be what? 25 plus 2 to give you 27. So here will be 27. So like I said, the largest number is what? 27. Now, thank you for watching my video. I am Flash Isaac. Feel free to subscribe to this channel, Flash Learners, to get my updates on new videos. And don't forget to check out my other videos. Visit flashlearners.com/videos or search Flash Learners on YouTube to see my amazing videos for all your topics. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.